everybody, and welcome back at Adobe Live. I'm your host Kladi, and I'm here with Design Fix. Design Fix is a brand new show here at Adobe Live, and let me see, there's quite a lot of music going on. There we go. So it looks like I have my speaker on as well, because I was watching all the amazing other stream here at Adobe Live. Let me check that everything is turned off. Just a second. There we go. I managed to turn off the stream. As I said, I was watching Adobe Live here. There is always so much fun going on. We just witnessed an amazing branding stream with Mauve. So welcome here at Design Fix. Design Fix, as I said, is a brand new show that is all about you and your business. So if you're starting a new business, maybe you look to grow your social media, this is the place to join me and to work together in order to show you how you can do that using the amazing Adobe apps and of course, Adobe Express that will help you make anything that you think of and that you want to realize for your business in terms of visuals and graphics happen in just a click. And as I said, I will show you how to achieve that. Today, we're going to be talking about a body therapy, yoga, and business, because our lovely Janet has submitted her request at Design Fix. Let me jump into my website to show you how you can do that very easily. So you have different ways to submit your work and your request. In particular, there is a form on my website. So if you head on iamkladi.com, that is my website, you'll be able to find here a banner, or you can simply type iamkladi.com/designfix, and you will land in this page, which is a simple form. It's very, very easy to actually fill in. All you have to do, you have to place your email, of course, your name and business name, then a brief description of your business and brand. If you have a website, social media, if you don't, is absolutely fine. If you're looking to get help for your logo, maybe you already have a logo, you just want to refresh, you're looking to get help with your social media assets or anything else. Like today, the request from Janet was how to transform any image from stock libraries into a branded image. And we're going to do that today in both Photoshop and Express. Of course, we're going to request to agree on the data consent because we're going to be showing your work, your brand live. So it's also a fantastic way to get promoted. And let me say hi in the chat, because right now we're streaming live. Of course, welcome to all of you that will be watching the replay. This stream is available on replay, so feel free to get a cup of tea and relax. So we can you can also watch the replay later on. And right now in chat we have Elisandra Lopez, lovely to see you. Frank, ciao. Our lovely Annika, lovely to see you, Annika. Stacy G, remember, RB, what's up? Frank, let me know in the chat if there are any questions. As usual, I love to see your question. Ciao, Steve, lovely to see you here. This is also a place to share with the community, with everyone. So not only you can submit your request for your business, or it doesn't matter if you're a freelance, it can be a personal branding, anything you want. If you want to grow your business and get a help, Adobe Live puts me and the fantastic, let me see if I can get his picture here, Alex Lazari, which is my partner in creative crimes here at Design Fix, that Adobe Live has placed this here to help you and dedicate 1 hour to your business. So let's jump into Janet's business. She's actually provided with her request a brand. So she already had a logo that totally caught my attention because I'm very much into body therapy, yoga, meditation. So there was definitely something that caught my attention. And also the name of this brand, her brand is based, I believe, in Brazil, but the name is Italian. Now, I don't know how the name is in Portuguese. If there is someone from Portugal, by the way, let me know. And let me know where are you watching from. Is also amazing to see where everybody watches from. I'm currently streaming from Manchester, UK, but I'm excited to learn about our lovely international community. So let me know in the chat where are you watching from. And of course, as I said, corpo is an Italian word that stands for body. So as you know a little bit about me, I'm an Italian designer, as I say, based in Manchester, UK, that really stood out. Now, before we dive in, I want to show you a little bit of before and after, just so you get an idea of what we're going to be doing. I've created the gradient myself. So what Janet delivered and gave me was mainly just the colors and the logo, which is absolutely fine, quite modern. I'm just going to go ahead and maybe create a copy of the blue one as well, so we have it there. And what I've done is to create also the gradient, which we're going to be using quite a lot in the image. But if you don't know how to do that, don't worry. If you never used Photoshop or Illustrator before, don't worry about it. This is totally beginner friendly. Just, you know, don't be afraid. You can download a free trial and you can get started with me together to learn how to use these amazing apps. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of before and after. So this is an example, one of the picture which I believe Janet downloaded from Unsplash. So that was an image that we'll be able to use, but we're gonna also be using some images from the wonderful stock.adobe.com that provide us with thousands and thousands of templates, also many free templates as well, which are connected in Adobe Express. So this image that we're going to be turning into a branded image, how do we get from something so generic into something that reflects more the brand? So I'll show you a little bit of the final artwork here. So look at that. Of course, those are just preview, but it shows you how you can incorporate any image into really blending and becoming part of the website, of the social media feeds, of the story, by simply, introducing elements like the logo. For example, here we have the logo on the pants and then on the shorts, and then we have this lovely color, the background color, which is incorporated the background that I was showing you before, where it is. Let me just place it back here. And actually, I'm just going to place the image so you can see the difference. So that was like the original. Oops, let me see. Let's find it here. So that was the original image, that one of the images that Janet provided us with, which was in fact a generic image that anybody can simply download from a stock website. As I say, in this case, she used, I believe, Unsplash. Let me go and zoom in. That was absolutely huge. Here it is. And again, I'm just doing here just simply for the sake of showcasing you how this image next to the brand, what we do is that we apply the look and feel of the brand, in this case, the color and the logo itself. And then if we go here into the edited image and we bring it inside Illustrator. And by the way, this is not the best way of placing. I'm just doing it for the sake of quickly displaying the image. The best way would be just to use the file place. But look at that. Look how this image just becomes, look at the difference. So if we remove this one and we just have this image here, it's just a photo next to a logo. But if you bring the image that we have edited to become on brand, it becomes part of the same. You can actually add it to anything and add it to next to the logo, next to anything that has got to do with the logo, and you will recognize it as part of a communication image that is part of the brand. And this is what branding and really creating communication for your business is all about. And that's what we're going to be helping you with if you do seek help for example, creating, in this case, imagery to use for your campaign. She will use that for social media, and we're going to leverage the power of Adobe Express to do so. Gareth Williams in the chat. What's up? Arlen Flores from New York City. Luis Madrigal, creative partner in crime. Yes, absolutely. I love that. I hope that Alex will enjoy this statement. Luis Madrigal, welcome here in the chat. As I said, use this time to ask any questions. This is the image, hopefully one of the images that we're going to be creating together. I'm going to try to go keep an eye on the time, because as usual here on Adobe Live, it goes way too fast because we're having fun. But I will show you how to get to these images. This is a little bit more advanced editing, but why not? We're going to push it as much as we can. There is another element that I wanted to show you in terms of before and after. So that was another image that's a little bit of a softer editing. All we've done is added the logo and added a very subtle gradient that will perhaps be our second step. But our very first step will be to change colors. So that was one of the questions that Janet had, and I was addressing. How do I find it? I do not have the time to do the shooting. She was very concerned because she's not good. She says she's not good in taking pictures per the picture that she wants to for a business. So basically, Garrett Marshall. Oh, Garrett is here from our first Design Fix episode with his brand Design Fix. We created the logo. Let's jump real quick on Adobe Express, because today I was doing a little bit of recap and I've actually seen it there. Design FYI was the project that we helped. So that's the logo that I designed for Garrett for the first episode of Design Fix. The logo is called, the brand is Design FYI, which is an interior design business. Big shout out. And also, yeah, participating in Design Fix is a great opportunity to showcase and have a shout out about your business. Garrett is saying, ciao, Design FYI, going stronger than ever. Thanks to your amazing work last session. Thank you so much. Luis is saying, that's how I'm watching the stream, upside down in a headstand with sewing pouring out of my butt into heavens. Yay. Fantastic. Well, I'm so happy to hear, Garrett. I hope that you're using the brand. It would be nice. Feel free to email me for any usages after as well, or you can always reach out on Instagram. My Instagram is at @IamKladi. I constantly publish tips on Illustrator, Photoshop, and pretty much everything Creative Cloud. So if you wanna, those are like 1-minute tutorials. So that's the place also to get in touch with me on DM. Perhaps that's the best way for me to reply to your messages. But as I said, let's go ahead and jump into Photoshop real quick to start editing images. So the first thing that I'm gonna do here, you have two ways of approaching image editing. You can either open the image as it is. So you literally go into File, open, and you browse and you open the image as you want, or you can start already by setting a size of the image. In this case, I already had a little bit of a heads up, knowing that these images, first of all, are going to be used on screen. So we're going to be built for web. And in particular, that Janet is looking to use the image for her business, in particular for social media campaign. That's what we're looking to build at the end. So what are we going to do here is to start by creating a new file, and we're going to leverage the power of Photoshop by simply clicking on the intent top tab, which is web. And by doing so, look what happens. If I click on it, all my settings will automatically change into settings ready for web. Look, if I change into print, it will change the units into inches, while if to web, we already know that we're working in pixels. So Photoshop does the heavy lift for you. I'm also going to use a 1920 by 1080 because that's the largest format for mobile. So we have the portrait ratio. From here, we're going to be able to derive images also for Instagram posts, and we're going to use Adobe Express for that. Resolution 150 for working with for mobile. We want to make sure to satisfy the Retina display. And I'm going to call this document Corpo, which is the name of the brand. Corpo Images. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on create, and by doing so we already created an artboard. And the first thing that I probably mistaked is that I've done the as you can see, that's a landscape and not portrait. So don't worry about it, very easy. Actually, that's a fantastic way of showing you how you can how you can edit that by simply changing the size of your canvas. So in this case I'm going to have 1080 by 1920, and at this moment it doesn't really matter because I do not have any images here. So let's see what happens. Did it correct the first time? So image, canvas size, very, very weird here. Worst case scenario, we can just simply redo what we've done before. So new file, web, and it's right here actually in the presets. So that's perhaps another good way of showing you. If you do not know the size, most used size for web, you also have access to document presets. Here they are. And by doing that, if you simply select on the 1920 by 1080, which what I should have done before, all you have to do is to change the resolution to 150. And then here, make sure that the orientation is set to portrait instead of landscape. So that's what I should have done before, just making sure that is on portrait. And then in this case, I'm going to also untick artboards. I think that's what was creating an issue before because I was working with an artboard. I just realized that. But anyway, so don't forget, new file, web 1920 by 1080. You can leverage the power of the preset. You have more preset if you click on view all preset. You can also save your own presets if you want by using this little icon here, so you will be able to access them very quickly by going into saved. And let's go ahead and name it again. By the way, in Photoshop, if you do not make any edit, you won't be able to save it, so the document didn't go anywhere. So we're absolutely fine. Corpo images, we can use the same name. I'm gonna go ahead and click on create, and here we go, we're ready to go. These images we can just simply, as you can see, it was an artboard, that's why I was having issue with the resizing. We don't need to save it. Fantastic, we are ready to move forward. So as I said, in this case, I'm starting with the size of a portrait, which is the largest size for mobile, 1920 by 1080. If you're looking to know different sizes, perhaps you're looking for stuff like YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook adverts, I have actually a pretty detailed, because as you can see, first of all, I'm dyslexic. I'm not really good with numbers, and I tend to forget them all the time. There is actually a resource that will be very good for anybody that is looking to create for social media. If you go on my website, I am Kladi freebies, there you'll be able to find a full PDF with all sizes, as I say, LinkedIn, Pinterest, everything that you need. So in that little field box for the size, you'll be able to input any of the size you want. Perhaps you have to scroll down a little. Here it is. That's a cheat sheet that you can download, and as you can see, will open up and has all different sizes for you to have an idea. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. This is absolutely free. Just go and click on download, and it's there for you, alongside a ton of other free material. Okay, but let's move back. So now we have the right size of the canvas. You can go ahead and download any image you want. In this case, we have all the images that Janet has provided from Unsplash. But what if you don't know where to download the images? Where there is another way that you can work, which is by using libraries. Libraries are services that are part of your Creative Cloud subscription, and they are absolutely amazing. They allow you to organize and collect many different assets for your project. And as I just want to show you that I'm not just talking here. As you can see, I'm scrolling on all my libraries. I tend to use library per each single project event. Anything that I do, all my assets are there, saved safely together and stored into the Adobe server on the cloud, on my Creative Cloud, ready to be used from any laptop, any computer. I was in Morocco last week, and I was literally swapping and using assets and sharing with my team thanks to the Creative Library from my mobile. You can also download the Creative Cloud app, and there the Creative Cloud library are available for you to, you can share them, you can do so much with them, and also use them on the wonderful, sync them with your Adobe Express free account. So let's go ahead and create a new library here. We're going to call this one Corpo Assets, or whatever you want. Corpo, I'm going to call it Campaign. Here it is, and click on create. As I said, I'm dyslexic, so campaign is of course misspelled. There we go. Here, make sure to click on create. Hopefully you have a better spelling than me. So here you have two options. Either you can go back into the folder. So here I have all the images that our lovely Janet has provided from Unsplash, and you can click and drag, and the images, as you can see, will be automatically loaded. So all I've done is drag the images inside the library. Now the library loads them inside my Creative Cloud library that are created for this specific project. Another wonderful thing here is that you can just simply go back into these images and delete them. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete them from my machine. I've placed them in my bin, and then I'm going to go ahead and also remove them from the bin, empty the bin. That saves a ton of space, and they're yet there available inside the Creative Cloud library, which is absolutely amazing and such a time saver and a time space saver, because you do not get distracted. You stay inside the app, you find all the assets that you need, and also you save space on your machine because they're loaded on the cloud. Okay, so something else here to add on the library are the color palette and of course the brand. Now for the color palette, I tend to do a little quick workaround. So I tend to take a screenshot when I have pages like that, or maybe the client that gave me a branding page. So whenever I have all the color from the brand, I tend to take a screenshot or grab an image, as I said, from the branding guide. And then here, always inside your library in Photoshop and also in InDesign, we have this little plus icon located at the bottom of the libraries panel. This little button will allow you to add different things inside your project, your folder. But what I'm going to do here is to leverage the power of create from image, extract from image. This will open up the capture. Capture is another clever, amazing service from Adobe. They will allow you to capture, as the word said, different things. In this case, we can capture patterns, shapes, color themes, gradient, and typography from other images. So you can extract any of these assets and use them from an image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus icon here. You can simply drag and drop. In this case, in my desktop, I must have the screenshot that I've just taken here with all the color. And look at that. First of all, this is such a cool pattern. That was like not on purpose at all, but I think it looks so cool. Janet, I don't know if you want to check it out, but you might want to be able to create some movement and maybe take inspiration from this pattern, which is quite cool. And by the way, you have access to many different patterns here. That was just a screenshot of the image. You can build vector files by creating shapes, and you can add as many details as you want. You can invert the shape, and also what we need right now is, of course, color themes. Color themes will allow you to use this amazing eyedropper to zoom in inside any aspect of your image. And in this case, what I'm going to do is to select the colors that are part of the brand. Just watch out not to use necessarily one from the gradient. I try to use the one from the proper color palette whenever you have solid color. Although those are pretty amazing. They allow you to zoom in inside the color. And then you will see here the swatches they will selected. And all you have to do is to save it to your swatches library. These two are a little bit too similar, so I'm gonna go and change it just so I don't get confused. Also, you can leverage the power of this color mood, and automatically you will select a different palette, muted, deep or dark. In this case, there are very few colors, because as we know with branding, 3-4 colors is the maximum you want to use. Tend to suggest 2, but in this case there is a lot of things like garments, accessories, so I understand the need for Janet to have multiple colors to play with, also in season, and when it's a brand that has a services and product, you have the luxury to be able to use multiple color, although my suggestion as usual is to use maximum 2. Macron, welcome in the chat. Lovely to see you here. Let me see if there is any question. Everybody just saying hello. Thank you. Fantastic. Again, if you have any question, this is the time right now live to ask any question you desire. But as I said, if you click on Save to Library, you will see the library will automatically save. And check what happens. What I was saying before is that if you go on your Creative Cloud, and if you go under your file and then here libraries, we have this library that automatically saves. This was called Corpo Campaign, I believe. So we're going to go to the C. Here it is. So this is the library that is automatically with a color palette just there that I've added. And if you don't believe me that this is happening live, I just like to do it one more time. Let's head back to Photoshop and let's just do like this series of blue. Let's just do like a blue palette. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and save it to the CC library. As you can see, as I clicked save inside Photoshop, I had the Creative Cloud open. Oop, what happened here? I think I lost my screen. Here we go. I think a cable dropped. Here we go. It's there. So here it is. It just uploaded there. No, I don't know if it just hidden what I was showing. We're going to do it one more time. In this case, I'm just going to add the lighter colors. Here they are. So I'm just going to do a bunch of lighter colors. You can see there are none here inside my Creative Cloud library. If I go ahead and click on Save to CC Library, boom, here they are. This color palette has now been added. So it adds automatically the palette in your library here in Photoshop. Here they are, the 3 color themes that I've selected. This will allow you to be able to access this color either if you're working on Express, on Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. You will be able to work consistently. And remember, consistency is a key word when starting your business. You want to repeat, you want to be memorable, you want everybody to remember who you are, and that's they can do that by looking at your product, at your website, at your social media. Make sure to stick to that consistency. There is nothing that screams unprofessionalism more than have scattered images, not having guidelines. People can easily recognize that you do not take care of your business, and they're afraid that they will not take care of their business. So to build that relationship, to build that trust, you really want to show that you're considerate, that you take things seriously, that you really take care of your own business, and being consistent with color theme, with fonts, and with imagery is so important. And that's why we're going to align images that you can take from any account. In this case, we've seen some images from Unsplash, or some images from, we're about to use one from Adobe Stock. You will be able to do that by using these wonderful services that allow you to put everything together. And I will show you how to then bring it to life with this wonderful app. Okay, so we got the images, we got the color theme. I want to show you how to add images from stock. Here is the possibility from I'm still working on the Creative Cloud libraries to search in stock. So you will be able to use this search bar to browse the Adobe Stock library. Here I'm gonna perhaps search in something like yoga. And here you have also filtered to see if you want photos, illustration, vectors, or so on. And you see we have a lot of wonderful images. And if you want to leave a little bit more of the experience, by the way, you can just simply click on the plus icon and it will be added to your image. And you do not have to license it right away. You can just simply drag it inside your canvas. If you perhaps just wish to test the image, and if you're unsure of it, it will have the Adobe Stock little splash there, logo splash, in order to preserve the image. But it still gives you a pretty good idea of how the image is going to look like. So you have a lot of flexibility before to commit on purchasing the assets. But if you want to have a full experience on Adobe Stock, you can actually visit the website, which is stock@adobe.com. All services of Adobe, always whatever the server is, .adobe.com. So we have capture.adobe.com, express.adobe.com, stock.adobe.com, fonts.adobe.com, colors.adobe.com. Those are all free, amazing tools that will help you so much while creating. So in this case, as I mentioned here, you can also narrow down your research between images, video, audio, templates, and also free assets. So here, if we search for some free yoga or maybe meditation and yoga images, there are many that are there for you to license, and all of those are free. Even if it says licensed, they are absolutely free. Now, as I said, I've done a little bit of research before, and here we go. I've licensed this one here, which I'm also going to be able to either re-download or save to library. Right now it says saved into my default library test, but I can from the website manage it, and I'm logged in with my Adobe ID. That's all you need. I can search the library that I want, which was Corpo. Here it is, Corpo campaign. So if I go ahead and let's see if we find it here within the libraries. Oops. I definitely put it into the wrong library. There, let's go ahead and find it here. Internet is not at its best. Oh, we're gone. We can finally scroll it. I have a lot of libraries, so to be fair, I'm going to go ahead and move it into our Corpo campaign. We find it here. And we have all the libraries from the Corpo campaign. As you can see, this is the one that we added from Photoshop. It's absolutely amazing how everything is connected. And as I said, you can replace it inside the libraries of your choice. So now it will save inside my Corpo library if we actually find it here. I have too many libraries for sure. I don't know. Actually, I haven't discovered what is the limit of library, but I probably will too. So it's now moving into the library. If you go back into Photoshop, you will see that these images are now saved inside the library. Let's see if we find the one that we just picked. I think it had a blue background and a red little mattress there. So click and drag to bring your image in. By doing so, as I said, I wanted to start from a quite easy workout in terms of changing the color and making sure that we have matching color, because those are close enough. So if you're Janet and you want to work with your brand, you have close enough colors, but there is nothing worse than having it close and not perfectly right. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, click and drag to place the image inside the canvas. As you can see, I've downloaded it free from Adobe Stock Library. Place it inside my folder, jump back into Photoshop, the image is there. All I have to do is to click and drag, boom, is there. And then I'm going to click and drag on one on the corner of the bounding box to make sure that it fits correctly the size. Here it is. Now the top size, if you imagine this could be a story or reel, the top is not being filled. Super easy in this case, mega easy because it's the same color. What I want to do is to make sure that I rasterize also my image and my layer. And by the way, if you're new at Photoshop, you can find any panel that I'm using. So in this case, the libraries panel, the layers panel, and any other panel that we're going to see under the window menu. As you can see, they are neatly organized in alphabetical order. Layers and libraries are the one that we use so far. So if you just open Photoshop and you don't know what is going on, well, that is the place. The window top menu will allow you to open up any panel that I might mention that you see inside my workspace. You can also personalize your workspace by bringing in as many panels as you require. Okay, so here we have selected our images. Also, whenever you bring anything in inside Photoshop, it will display in its own layer. You can double click on the layer. I'm going to call this one original image, and you can name it. We can get rid of the white layer behind. When you see this little checkerboard pattern, that means that it's transparent, so nothing is there. So clearly this image, it might be like a quite good image, but it's missing the top. As I say, not a problem. I'm going to press the letter M to activate the marquee tool, click and drag to create a selection of the pixel that I'm missing, and we're going to be able to use the content aware fill by pressing shift and delete, and then select the content to content aware fill, and then fill it of the color. So as you can see, what I've done is selected a little bit of the background. I'm just going to go ahead and undo it. Can you see there is a little bit of that background selected there? So when I use the content aware fill, I'm just going to see the neighboring pixels that are there, and it's simply going to fill in, and here we go. We do not have to worry. We have the image there. It's going to be perfect, even if originally wasn't the correct proportion for our size, for our Instagram story size. Here it is, we easily fixed. But now we're looking at colors. So what I'm going to do is to bring in a rectangle, and this is just a sample, because I'm going to go ahead inside my libraries and I'm going to use the colors that I've used there. So this is my color for the red, and as you can see, it's close, it's similar, but not close enough. So how do we match our brand? As I say, consistency is the key. How do we make that little mattress color match perfectly for our selection? So what first thing I want to do is to select the specific area of the photo. You have a broad choice of selection tool inside Photoshop. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the quick selection tool, which is a little paintbrush with a little dotted line around, and as the description says and shows very, very easily with this GIF, it makes selection by finding and following the edges in an image. So what it does, when you click and once you select it and then you click and drag over it. By the way, this works like any other brush. Right bracket makes the selector bigger, the brush bigger, left bracket makes it smaller. If you click and drag over the area, it will recognize the area of the same color and detect the edges with areas, neighboring areas of different colors. And by doing so, it will nice and easy select your image. Okay, so we want to make sure that we move this rectangle out of the way, although let's undo this real quick. Make sure that we move the rectangle away, and now we go ahead on the original image, select our little tool, and look, in one click, all I've done, I don't even have to brush anymore. Just clicking once, boom, is done it. You can also zoom in if you wish, make your brush smaller using the left bracket, as I said before, and then simply just click on the details. Of course, feel free to zoom in and add as many details as possible. Please, I'm going a little bit fast because I want to show you so much more. Again, here we have a little bit of the fingers. You can jump in between the add and subtract either by using the option little bar here at the top. So this is add and this is subtract, or you can also use the alt option key to toggle in between the add and subtract. As you can see, we have this little minus and plus at the center of the brush. I'm just using the alt or option key, or you can just simply swap from the option bar. Okay, so now that we created a selection, all we're going to do is to head to our adjustment layers. And we're going to go ahead and click at this little icon located at the bottom of the layers panel. That's how you access the wonderful adjustment layers. And I'm going to select our hue and saturation. hue and saturation will allow you to work on the hue and saturation. And because we had a selection before opening this layer, the layer will create a mask. So that means that whatever change we're going to apply, we're only going to apply to that specific area of our selection. And here all I'm going to do is to use this little marker, this little click and drag icon. So click on this icon and you will be able to bring it inside your image, and by clicking and dragging you will be able to change first of all the saturation if you wish, but what does that, it will select the color sample that you want to check. In this case, if you see went into reds automatically, and then you can use the hue slider to change the color of that specific object that is selected and masked inside your image, and change it to whatever you want. So in this case I can find something that is a little bit more of a orange color. Let's go ahead and bring it in, and of course, you know, like I don't want to, it was just the case that it was red and I'm using an orange. It could have been pink, it could have been any other color, and you will be able to change it with the same trick. And of course you can fine tune it using the saturation, using the lightness, until you find a color that you feel that it really represents your brand. And if you also want to change, for example, these areas here, well, the beauty of working with masks is that masks are a very flexible way of working, in fact are not destructive, and you can use a brush, and with the black or white color, in this case with white, we will be able to add areas to our little mask. So make sure to select the mask thumbnail and then click on it, and look what's happening here. Is literally changing any red into the color, just because, can you see here? Let me see. We are adding, I don't know if I can zoom more than that, but we're adding, I'm just going to do it somewhere else. We're going to adding white areas to our mask, and what that does is to simply opens up and shows the effect through. In fact, masks works exactly like stencil by showing through whatever is painted in white, and that's why we have the black and the white. Everything that is black is going to be hidden, it's going to be masked. Everything that is white you'll be able to look through, because it's going to work like a stencil. Here we go. So now another thing that we're left to do is to perhaps work with the background. How do we do that? Well, very simple. We're going to go back to select our original image, and by the way, this is the change already made to the color to start matching the brand. I need to move so fast if I want to show you the other images. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and select another tool, which is our quick selection tool, object selection tool. This is an amazing tool if you make sure that the object finder is ticked. This little option is ticked inside your option bar. It will automatically scan. Well, we have our Adobe Sensei, Adobe Artificial Technology, looking for all the image, detecting what is the background, what is the foreground, there is sky there is not, are there people? It's just literally starting to learn more about the image. And then as you can see, by hovering on the image, it will be able to detect the subject. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on our lovely subject here, and you will see that it will automatically create a selection. Then I'm going to go ahead and select also the little matte, and as you can see, these images are perhaps missing a little bit of the area because the lightness and the color were the same, but that is not a problem. You can always swap between any selection tool, perhaps even use the lasso tool by pressing the letter L to quickly freehand using the shift key to add any area of the image that you wish to select. Again, I've done quite a poor job. I'm gonna go fast because I really want to show you that amazing effect from the other image. I know everybody was getting excited about that. Oh my god, that's really, really horrible. So make sure to zoom in and add any other area that you would like to use. Perhaps in this case, I should have used the polygonal lasso tool. So by holding shift and clicking, here we go, we made a straight line, and I should have zoomed a little bit more, but here it is. Okay, so you just want to select your subject. Oops, looks like I just clicked away. Here it is. And from here, we're gonna invert the selection by using the Shift Command I or Control Command I. So in this case, I'm selecting the background. See, it selects the subject or the background. And you know that you selected the background when the pixels around the canvas are also selected. And I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna go back and use our mask, sorry, our adjustment layer. So we created another hue and saturation adjustment layer that matches the background. So this is the first thing, matching color. colors. And I know that you think that these colors, you know, are quite similar, but yet are not the same of the brand. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Just get another rectangle here. Place it somewhere where we know that it's like close to the background. And then from your libraries panel, all you have to do is to click on the color that you want to click from the brand. As you can see, I can change this to any color I want. In this case, this is the most similar one. So I'm just going to go with this. Select the use saturation layer. And from here, if you double click on it, it will open up. Same thing as before. Use the little preset to pick the color. In this case, let's pick the cyans, a little bit of green as well. So perhaps you can use this little interval at the bottom to select the color that you want to change. And all I'm left to do, and as you can see, you can change this any color you want. I find that quite amazing. Look at that. You can literally change the color to whatever you want. Make sure to find a hue that is the most similar and then adjust it with saturation and by using the lightness slider until you find the perfect match. By the way, there are other ways in which you can do this. You can also, for example, create a new solid color, like in this case, and then pretty much do the same. So apply the same mask like we did before. So let me go ahead and close the rectangle. So that's another way to work very quickly. So as I said before, just create a new solid color. They will create a layer which contain any color you want. In this case, you can choose from the color picker, or as I've done before, choose a color from your libraries and then use the same way that I've done before to use the mask. In this case, I'm just simply copying the same mask that we've done before. Let's make sure that we select a different color here. And as you can see, we have this lovely mask that is now allowing us to choose the background of as many colors as you want. Perhaps I should have just changed the color here. You can click on the color and then select any color from your library. But the most important thing is that here we're literally using color from the brand. Okay, so this is done. Let's move on to more complex editing. We have about 15 minutes. We still have to jump inside. Let's actually jump inside real quick inside Adobe Express, and then we'll come back for more editing. By the way, I have a very similar workflow inside my LinkedIn learning. So at the moment, I'm going to jump inside Adobe Express to show you how to use this for your campaign. For the more articulate picture and editing, I'm still gonna do my best to do as much as I can during this hour together. But if you really wanna go ahead and have a go, I had this ready just because I knew the time was gonna be not with us here. Building powerful Instagram assets with Photoshop. This is a course that is inside one of the courses that that you can find here. I also have introduction to Illustrator, to InDesign, social media, and so on LinkedIn. And this is a full course that will allow you to discover how to create these sort of images at the end. I think this one has got animation at the end as well. If you do not have LinkedIn Learning, I have a 24-hour free link that is always there on my social media. So if you go here on the link tree, you'll be able to find it. I gonna share so much. Those are all courses. Feel free to go and get anything that you need. I think there is LinkedIn somewhere here that will allow you to, I think it's here, learn graphic design with my videos, tutorials, and you find that there. Okay, so now what I've done is to simply select all layers, click on the first one, Alt Shift, and click on the other one. And then here I've done so to create a group. And then you have two options. What I tend to do is to duplicate, Command J, Control J to duplicate. And then I'm gonna merge it, Control A, Command A. And I'm gonna call this one Corpo, Image 1. By the way, if I don't get to show you the same thing, Janet is going to get all three images edited for her, which is the beauty of being here at Design Fix. And here I'm going to simply go ahead and drag this layer inside my campaign here. Let's go ahead and see if it's loaded. We should be able to see the new image coming through. Let's see if it's placed it somewhere here. Okay, here it is. So I can see already the difference here. If you see on the image, let's go ahead and do it again. Here it is. So if you see on this image, I wanted to show you this. We have the card sample, and then we have the previous image here coming up. Can you see that we have the color, the original color showing through? To get rid of that, all you have to do is to select the image, and then here you want to press Command A to select all the pixels inside the canvas, because even if we don't see it, Photoshop only shows you the pixels that are on the canvas, but there are other pixels, and you can see here in the image they're still there. In fact, you can also see that by pressing the Command T, you have the bigger image is still there. But if you select Command A, Control A or Pixel, and then access the crop tool with the letter C, you'll be able to make sure to delete all cropped pixels. So we're literally cropping the artboard that we created. Press on return, and now it shows you all the pixels that were hidden before that we want to crop. Just simply select all, Command A, Control A will select all the canvas, press the letter C to crop, press enter, enter again, and it's done. So look what happened now. If I go back and bring this image again, I actually have the right size that I need. Okay, also looked like there was a little bit of a mistake here. That was probably part of the mask. That's most likely what happened here. Yeah, if you go back, you can see that we have these as part of the mask, but that's absolutely fine. Just make sure to go ahead and paint in black to hide that area. I just want to show you real quick how that looks like. We can paint in black, boom, and we get rid of that error just like so. And then you can repeat Command J and Command E to merge. Okay, so I'm literally stretching the time a little bit for this detail, but here we are. Okay, so what we've done here now is created this image. We've matched it to the brand using the colors, and all we're left to do is to go back on Express, as I said, express.adobe.com, to leverage the power of these assets that we've created in order to add it to our campaign. You can use also an amazing number of templates. So here you have flyer, Instagram, Facebook post, as many as you want. This first row will allow you to select a template of your choice. Otherwise, if you go back here and search in the template, I'm going to go ahead and create, for example, yoga story. It will give you access to so many templates here. So we have gentle yoga routines. It's nice. It's got the text on the top. We already know that here we have the negative space for the text. So here we got the space, but we do not need this image. So we can go ahead and simply click on any details that we do not need. We're going to keep these. They're kind of a matching colors. You can also edit the text. For example, if you do not need these 4/70s, don't worry, all you have to do is to simply click on it and delete it. You can perhaps say every Thursday. There we go. And write anything else you want. You can change the font to whatever is the font to match your brand. Even here, the rest of the text, you can change the font, the color, the text itself, and really personalize it to whatever you want. But most importantly, you can access your libraries. That's why I've been blabbing so much about the libraries, because they are extremely useful throughout. And if we go here and now we enter our libraries, we will be able to see that our corporate campaign, our latest library, is sitting on top with all the assets, the image, the color, everything that we've created there. All you have to do is to click once to add an image, and then you can simply make it of the size that you need by simply clicking and dragging the corner of the image to resize it. And now it's sitting on top because this is the last element that we have added to our design. But if you go ahead and use the layer order, you can bring it to the very bottom, and perhaps you can either move or completely remove these other templates. Look how amazing is that. And if we go back into inside Illustrator, you can also bring the logo here that we have inside our library. Let's see where the library is. Window and then libraries. As I said, every panel lives inside the window menu, so that's the best way to find the corporate campaign. Click and drag to bring the assets, just like we did before. You can bring as many color as you want. In this case, I just brought 2. If we head back into our Express, you will see that maybe let's go back into libraries and then let it load it one more time. The logo should be there right away. Here it is. And you can simply click once and add it to your campaign. Isn't that absolutely amazing? So if you worked with a designer, we can even put like on the t-shirt or something like that. If you work with a designer that have the logo, just make sure that he shares the library with you, that gives you access to the library. That is very easy. You can share libraries in many different ways directly from Photoshop. Here you can just share it by clicking on this little icon at the top. by inviting people to libraries to collaborate, or from your Creative Cloud app by selecting the library and then select share. You can also generate a link by clicking on the three dots, and you will be able to link this specific library. So everybody that is working on your brand, on your business, can access the same assets, the same color, and so on. But what if now you need to create an Instagram post? Well, that's very simple. We're working on the same project. This is our corporate campaign. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and click on this plus icon that allows you to duplicate the page or to add a page. So within the same project in Adobe Express, you can create multiple assets. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and create an Instagram story. Express knows it all, already creates the right size. I'm going to go here though and click and drag to select all the elements that I want to copy. Command C to copy. Go into the next page, Command V to paste. Of course, the resolution and the size is going to be different, but that is not a problem because all you have to do is to click and drag to reposition the assets. Same for these little assets that we had here. All we have to do is to literally move it around. We can move the logo that we've placed, again, leave it on the top of the t-shirt, and do the same with the text. Make a little bit bigger here. And look at that, in literally what was that? Less than a minute, we already have two different assets. So we have this flyer, we have that little Instagram post, and then you can add perhaps an Instagram story, a poster, a custom size, maybe a sticker. Actually, let's go ahead and do what we can do here. Let's add an image. Let's add the image that we created before. Here it is. And then in this case, let's just add the text. So maybe you can leave it blank so you can use it for your story. That's perhaps a way of doing it. And all we want to do here is to add the logo, so you can have the logo at the very top. Here we go. So the options are literally infinite. Unfortunately, the time has gone way too fast. I always prepare way too much stuff for the stream. But as you can see, you can literally grab any image, use the assets thanks to the library. I'm going to do a very quick recap. So what we've done is grabbed an image from stock.adobe.com and then used the lovely and extremely useful libraries to bring together all image assets and color palette, and we used capture to leverage the color from the brand. We already had the brand before, and then we used the hue and saturation to match the color. We used mask, we used selection. This was 1 hour packed of tips, so I really hope that you enjoyed it. There is of course more. The file that I've created, I'm probably going to share with you the file because it's not fair. I showed you something and then we didn't get the time of doing it. I'm going to share with you, I think that's also a Creative Cloud file that I created here. The very cool one with the liquid coming through. That's probably an hour of work there. I think that was our image number 2. Here it is. So that's, again, if you want to have a look, I've also added the gradient. That was another quick way of working by adding the gradient from the image and showing it through. We have used the little other image here masked as well, just simply layered using blend mode. So it's set on multiply that hides the lighter pixels, and then here we have a mask that shows the background. As I said, you can find this specific workflow. That's why I left it at the end, because this is already detailed in my LinkedIn course. So if you want to learn how to create it, and actually the LinkedIn course shows you how to animate it as well. The LinkedIn course for this one in particular is this one here, building powerful Instagram assets. That's the one that gives you access, and you can find it inside my Instagram. Feel free to DM. Don't forget to submit your request for design fix. I am kladi.com/designfix. Fill in the form. I'll keep my appeals for your emails. I will let you know when you're going to be selected. Janet, I know she couldn't be in here today, but she already got the final pictures yesterday, so I look forward to see her Instagram. Go ahead and follow our corpo Instagram as well, so hopefully we can see these assets we've created together. As usual, a massive thank you for sticking around this hour together. It is time to say goodbye. Don't forget to stay tuned in on Adobe Live. There are fantastic streams going pretty much every day throughout the week with amazing talented designer and a guest and a host and the wonderful family at Adobe Live, here to inspire you, help you, and guide you, and share with you this amazing creative community. Thank you so much for being with me. It's time to say goodbye, and I will catch you very soon for more Design Figs. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you soon.